Good morning, boys and girls. Before we begin our Bible lesson, let's go ahead and start with our prayer, okay? So close your eyes, bow your head. Let's pray. Lord, I thank you so much for such a good week. I thank you that even though things are difficult, that we are able to come together and still make things work. I thank you that you have given us this opportunity to learn, to become better, and to become more like you, Lord. I pray that we learn much today about being faithful to you, Lord, and that we would want to be faithful. And in your name I pray. Amen. Okay, so let's review our Bible verses that we have been going over for our faithfulness lesson, okay? So Proverbs 6 through 9. Now, I decided to open up to a different version. I have the New Living Translation. There was a different version we read from the other day, so it's going to be a little different. The wording is going to be just a little different, okay? So Proverbs 6 through 9. Take a lesson from the ants, you lazy bones. Learn from their ways and become wise. Though they have no prince or governor or ruler to make them work, they labor hard all summer. That means they work hard all summer, gathering food for the winter. So those are a few verses that demonstrate some faithfulness. The ants are faithful to their work. They're faithful to their colony, and they make sure that they have enough food to get them through the winter. So I have a story that was written by Aesop, and there is something that we can learn from this. It is called The Ants and the Grasshopper. We've read this story before, so you might recognize it. One bright day in late autumn, a family of ants were bustling about in the warm sunshine, drying out the grain they had stored up during the summer, when a starving grasshopper, his fiddle under his arm, came up and humbly begged for a bite to eat. "What?" cried the ants in surprise. "Haven't you stored anything away for the winter? What in the world were you doing all of last summer?" "I didn't have time to store up any food," whined the grasshopper. "I was so busy making music and playing that before I knew it, summer was gone." Now let me stop and ask, was Grasshopper very faithful to make sure that he was prepared and that he had everything he needed for the winter time? No, he was playing and he was making music that he didn't even think about preparing food for the winter time. And now he is starving, he's hungry, and he has to beg the ants for some food. Were the ants faithful? Yes, they were. They were faithful to their work, they were faithful to their colony, and made sure that they had everything they needed for winter. The ants shrugged their shoulders in disgust. "Making music and playing, were you?" they cried. "Very well, now dance." And they turned their backs on the grasshopper and went on with their work. So our lesson is there is a time for work and a time for play. Also, let's review. Let's think back to our hero from Wednesday. Do you remember her name? Her name was Ruth. She was faithful to her mother-in-law and she was faithful to God. She decided that instead of going home with her family like she might have wanted to do, she wanted to stay faithful to her mother-in-law and God. And so she moved away to Israel, and because she did that, God blessed her. Just like God blessed the ants in the story, the ants and the grasshopper. He blesses them because they are faithful to their work. They are faithful. So let's remember as we go along our days, let's be faithful to complete our work. Let's be faithful to worship God, to pray every day, to read every day, to be kind to others every day, because God will bless that. Okay? So I hope you have a good rest of your day, and I will talk to you later.